Welcome back to our channel. In this video we compare two American bikes, the newly launched Harley-Davidson Nightster and the updated Indian Scout Rogue. We've been lucky enough to ride both of these bikes, so we'll give you our impressions. So let's jump into the video by looking at the individual aspects of each bike. Both the Nightster and the Rogue are powered by modern liquid-cooled V-twin engines. The Nightster has a 975cc Revolution Max engine that produces 89 brake horsepower and 95 Newton-meters of peak torque. The Rogue has a 60-degree V-twin that produces 100 brake horsepower and 97 Newton-meters of peak torque. Now, these engine figures may indicate that the Indian has the power race well and truly won, but that's definitely not the case. The Rogue's horsepower advantage over the Nightster was eroded by its overall weight. The Rogue weighs in at 250 kilograms, while the Nightster is 29 kilograms lighter at 221. Therefore, if we consider brake horsepower per ton, we get a far more accurate assessment of power. In this regard, the Nightster produces 365 brake horsepower per ton, while the Rogue produces 363 brake horsepower per ton. This gives the Nightster a 2 brake horsepower per ton advantage over the Rogue. But let's not get too carried away. Neither of these bikes is about all-out power. Fundamentally, they are both far more leisurely in nature. The characteristics of the engines are very similar. Both are high revving, smooth and refined. In this regard, they have more in common with European or Japanese engines than any conventional American air-cooled V-twin. This was a very pleasant surprise, and both bikes were all the better for it. Out on the road, the Nightster and the Rogue feel very different. Both have ample peak power for road riding, but neither bike can be described as sporty. The Rogue has a much lower stance than the Nightster, with a seat height of 649 millimeters, compared with the Nightster's 705 millimeters. This enables even the shortest rider to get both feet flat on the ground. The riding position is also quite different. The Nightster provides a nice upright riding position with its mid-mounted foot pegs, while the Rogue provides a more stretched out riding position with its forward-mounted foot pegs. With its longer wheelbase, the Rogue tracks nicely around long sweeping corners. However, when you're riding through some twisties, the Nightster was by far the more agile and flickable bike of the two. The Rogue also felt noticeably heavier than the Nightster, which of course it is. The Nightster has its fuel tank located under the seat. This has the effect of lowering the centre of gravity and improving the handling. The specification for the brakes on both bikes is very similar. Up front there's a single brake disc with a single caliper, and both are equipped with ABS. The rear brakes are also virtually identical. Even though the brakes are not great, they are adequate for this type of bike. Both bikes also have similarly equipped suspension setups. Both have conventional right-way up front forks and dual shocks at the rear. Adjustability is basic but functional. Despite having such low-tech suspension, both bikes deliver a nice, comfortable, sure-footed and positive ride. The ergonomics of both the Nightster and the Rogue are very good. The Rogue is quite low and the riding position is stretched out. In contrast, the Nightster offers a far more upright riding position. For both bikes, the build quality, including the fit and finish, were comparable. In the tech department, both bikes are fairly minimal. Both are equipped with a single gauge, which offers only basic information but not a lot else. However, this does suit the styling of each bike very well. The Rogue is very, very simple indeed. There's ABS but no traction control, and there's no switchable riding modes. All told, the Rogue is about as basic as it's possible to get. However, this simplicity is quite alluring. In contrast, the Nightster has a little bit more tech than the Rogue. You get 3 rider modes: rain, road and sport. and you also get ABS, but it's not switchable, and traction control that is. We know that our view on styling is entirely subjective, but these are just our personal opinions. The overall looks of the Nightster is classic Harley-Davidson Sportster, low at the back with a single seat as standard, and we really like the little bikini fairing at the front. The engine finishes are very modern and beautifully done. There are some little uncharacteristic oversights to Harley-Davidson's otherwise excellent build quality. We won't go into details, but these are not deserving of a bike that costs this much. All in all, we think that Harley-Davidson have managed to retain that all-important old-school look whilst adding some modern flair. The Rogue is also nicely designed. It has a purposeful look, and the blacked-out engine treatment looks classy and sophisticated. The Rogue also comes with a small bikini fairing. We really like the simple paint schemes, especially the Stealth Grey or the Storm Blue, which somehow emphasise the bike's lines exquisitely. We did think that the exhaust was overly long and could do with being made a lot shorter. Of the two, we think the Nightster is the better looking bike. Price. The Rogue costs $11,499 while the Nightster costs far more at $13,499. Both bikes are designed to appeal to a younger generation of riders, but the prices are definitely at the top end of the spectrum. This may well put off many potential buyers. So overall, what do we think? Both the Nightster and the Rogue are nice examples of classic Americana. They look very cool and they go quite well. There are deficiencies in the riding experience, of course, most notably those mediocre brakes, but these are laid-back cruisers, so it's not that much of an issue. The engines are the highlight of each bike. They are modern liquid-cooled V-twins and they feel very smooth with ample power for road riding. Both bikes are stripped back to the bare minimum. There's a noticeable absence of tech, and it's all about the look. Considering what you get, or more specifically what you don't, these bikes are expensive for what they are. But what both bikes manage to successfully capture is American cruising with an old school vibe, with a certain unique charm. If we were forced and had to choose between them, we would actually pick the Nightster. The Rogue is unique and special in its own way, but there's something about the Nightster that just has the edge. Thanks very much for watching, and if you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.